Welcome to Slash and Thrash, your place for all things horror, metal, and all the entertainment we love. On this episode, we are going to talk about a film from 2009, House of the Devil. House of the Devil is a 2009 film written and directed by Ti West. Ti West wanted to pay homage to films from the 80s. What a better way than to set this film in a satanic panic era. The film opens up with our main character Sam as she is trying to find a new home away from her annoying roommate. Dee Wallace, who plays the landlord, tells Sam that she can get this place for a much lower rate than originally asked. Our main character still doesn't have that much money, so she tries to find other ways of income, such as a flyer for babysitting that is on her campus. She calls this number that is on this flyer, and some strange man answers. The man tells her to wait for him as they will meet up later. So she goes and meets, but he never shows. So thinking that this guy just ditched her entirely, we then cut to another scene where Sam is with her friend Megan and they're sitting at a pizza parlor talking about this situation. This scene really lets you in to know what kind of character Sam really is. She is upset, yes, of the situation. However, she's not going to the extremes that her friend is telling her, such as tearing down the rest of the flyer so that the man can't get anyone to fulfill this job. We then go to a scene where we see just what kind of living situation Sam is actually in. Her roommate is a slob, and she doesn't have the best living situation. She asks her roommate if this person had called back, and luckily enough, he did. Sam agrees to take this job, and then we cut to a scene where Megan is driving Sam out to this person's house to babysit. During conversation, we see that Megan had ripped down the rest of the flyers so that this man couldn't get anyone for the position like she originally said she was going to. So this is probably how Sam ended up with the job. Moving right along, we finally get to this person's house, and he seems just as weird as he sounded on the phone. It is revealed to Sam by this man that there is no baby, that the job is actually for an elderly family member of this man's, but he didn't want to say that on the phone because it would just be easier to say babysitter. After she's offered more money than originally offered, Sam eventually takes this job. However, her friend Megan doesn't want her to take this job. She feels bad about this situation and she wants them both to just leave and get out of there. But Sam insists, so Megan leaves and Sam starts to babysit. After Megan leaves, this is when more strange and weird stuff starts to occur. We finally meet this person's wife, and she seems just as strange as he does. Eventually, this couple leaves for the evening like originally planned. Sam is left alone with the supposed family member that's upstairs, and this is really when weird stuff really starts to happen. Strange events take place, and cracking and creaking of the house, and the anxiety really starts to set in. Sam starts to regret taking this job. Well, that's all I'm going to tell you about the story because I don't want there to be any spoilers. You will have to just go watch this movie for yourself if you want those spoilers to be revealed. This film is filled with satanic goodness and weird stuff, so it would just be your best bet to just go watch this for yourself. Moving on, let's go to the negatives. For the most part, I really like this film. There aren't any really major negatives, but I will say that the way that the satanic stuff is kind of revealed, it could have been a little bit more inconspicuous with it. That's just a major complaint I have. Another negative is, unless you're in the mood and you're in for the long haul of this film, it is very slow paced. It really just reveals what you could already kind of tell in the first place, however, not exactly. But I'll get to the positives. But once again, by calling this film a slow burn is kind of an understatement. This one is one of the slowest burn movies I've watched in a while. Getting that negative stuff out of the way, here are the positives. If you are in the mood for a slow burn psychological slasher satanic haunted house flick, then this is the movie for you. I will compare this film as being the doom metal of horror movies. Yes, it is slow, but once it gets to the point, it really grabs you. What seems to be a mild thriller turns into what I would suspect people from the 80s were thinking that satanic cults were doing. So, needless to say, this feels like it could possibly have been in real life. The fact that this film is based in real life, even though it's not a real story, it still makes you feel very claustrophobic. You don't want to see this character go through all this hell just to pay her rent. And that's the message of the story, kids. To pay rent is hell. To live a life you need to live, that's hell. That's hell. I will say that they do tell her story in a very compelling way. And like I said, once it grabs you, it really grabs you. So just kind of, ease into the film, stay with it, and eventually you'll get there. I'll also say that I'm glad this film is a one-off because it leaves you with all the right questions to ask. Well, needless to say, a lot of these questions aren't really answered. Well, moving right along to the rating portion of the video. I am going to have to give House of the Devil a 4 out of 5 stars. Like I said, this film is slow, but this film is good. Pretty good film, and it wraps up pretty nicely. Check it out. Well, that's all I got for you today. What do you think of this review of House of the Devil? If you liked it, please push like. If you're not a subscriber yet, feel free to subscribe and push that bell to get notified for every other time that I upload new videos. Well, thank you for watching this review. You don't know how much I appreciate it. And until next time, keep slashing horror freaks.